My name is Amira binti Abrashid and we are from BA24758 Group C. Today, we would like to talk about government incentive to increase the deployment of electric vehicle in Malaysia. First of all, as we know, transport is the backbone of the whole value chain to be robust and resilient to fluctuation. The electric vehicle began to be introduced globally in the mid-19th century to ease the operation and help to achieve Sustainable Development Goals objective. An electric vehicle is a transport that operates using electricity entirely or partially. There are two different types of electric vehicles such as fully electric and plug-in hybrid. Using an electric vehicle will help to sustain and strengthen our transport planning. Furthermore, it also helps to decrease the current issues such as air pollution, carbon emission, or climate change. In short, increasing the deployment of electric vehicle in Malaysia will give advantage to stay in line with the current of modernization and technology. A total of 15 articles were considered as source of information. There are several countries such as China, South Korea, Norway and the others as instance of how they have increased electric vehicle use in their country. From that example, we are trying to implement their method in our country. We also compare and contrast the initiatives that have been made by other countries.
The government policy implementation can be classified into two categories, which is soft policy and hard policy. Hard policy involves military intervention, coercive diplomacy, and economic sanction, while soft policy associated with intangible power resources such as culture, ideology, and institution. In order to encourage the use of electric vehicles, the government should consider both pros and cons of the public methods that will be implemented to facilitate the public acceptance of the new system. Soft policy, for example, is said to be more effective and efficient concept to be applied in the global modern politics due to its endurance and sustainability. However, because the soft policy is aimed at changing the attitudes of humans in all their individualistic complexity, it is a difficult thing to measure their operational success. The hard policy is easier to measure compared to the soft policy, as the government is given a straightforward counting game and is focused more on measurable resources.
The first government incentive that have been implemented in California are component rebate for zero-emission vehicle and near-zero emission vehicle. Next, the California Department of General Service also developed and implement AFV parking incentive program. In 2010, the South Korean government announced an ambitious EV deployment plan to significantly reduce greenhouse gas. Other than that, their government also collaborate with private firms to extend tax deduction on each automobile purchase in 2022. The last one is in Denmark. Their government tries to increase the enrollment fee of conventional gasoline or diesel car. As a result, energy business, transportation firm, regulator, and government agency are more willing to adapt electric vehicle.
The success of Norway in achieving the topmost spot with a 75% share of plug-in electric vehicles in 2020 is due to a significant package of incentive developed to promote both hydrogen and zero-emission electric cars in the country. Norway is unique as it has a nationally uniform policy that includes every major incentive category such as parking access, infrastructure access benefits, infrastructure usage pricing benefits, point of sale pricing benefits, and charging access benefits. While the zero emission incentive introduced by a broad coalition of different political parties include exemption from 25% VAT on purchase and leasing, low annual road tax, no purchase or import tax, no charge on toll roads or ferries, 50% reduced company car tax, free municipal parking, and others. Norway also implement the polluter pays principle in the car tax system, in which low or zero emission cars pay lower taxes and high emission cars pay higher taxes. By imposing taxes on polluting vehicles, Norwegian authorities believe that zero and low emission vehicles should always be economically advantageous to choose over high emission vehicles.
Based on the summary of the case study above, we believe that our government should put an effort to attract more people to use electric vehicle. In contrast with other countries, Malaysia is still lagging behind in the use and production of EVs despite emerging as one of the earliest countries to venture into the industry. Therefore, as a developed country, we should make other countries such as China, South Korea, Norway as a reference to making us a competitive country in this world. In conclusion, we can clearly see that providing an incentive can help towards the deployment of electric vehicle and increase the usage of electric vehicle in our country. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Next, we will move on to the initiative by the government, which is technology, or to be specific, battery cell technology. Battery technology, which serves as a power source and energy storage device, is one of the key technologies of EV development, and its advancement and maturity have a direct impact on the industrialization of EVs. This is because for EVs to compete with traditional fuel vehicles, advanced and matured battery technology is required. There are various battery technologies available in the market, such as lead acid, nickel metal hydride, and lithium ion. Each technology has its own level of performance in terms of safety, recyclability, energy density, charge retainment, and so on. Lead acid battery, for example, is widely available and cost-effective. However, it tends to have a limited life cycle, low power density, and weight heavier as compared to other technology. On the other hand, nickel metal hydride is more resistant to wide temperature changes with a longer life cycle. The only disadvantages it suffers is that it has a low charge and discharge life cycle. Next, the lithium ion is the widely used battery technology in the electric vehicles due to their higher energy density, increased power per mass battery unit. The biggest downside of lithium ion is that the cost is much more higher as compared to the lead acid and nickel metal hydride. According to Bloomberg NEF Annual Battery Price Survey, the price of lithium-ion battery pack prices can reach up to $1,200 per kilowatt-hour in 2010. However, the price shows declining patterns after a decade with only $140 per kilowatt-per-hour in 2020 and drops again to $132 per kilowatt-per-hour in 2021. With battery pack prices expected to fall below $100 per kilowatt-per-hour by 2024, sales of lithium-ion batteries will rise along with the sale of EVs. By comparison, we can see that there are still no battery technologies that can occupy the dominant position of the performance of each aspect, such as safety, recyclability, energy density, charge retainment, and so on. Hence, manufacturers are increasing their efforts to develop next-generation technology that will enable larger capacity, safer, and longer-lasting batteries. For example, Japan-based smart energy solution provider Tridome is battling to develop high-performance power packs that could become the next global standard. Malaysia should pursue a long-term development strategy through collaboration and partnership with large corporations such as CATL, Panasonic, and Tridome. As a result, Malaysia may boost their R&D investment in battery technology as well as catching up with advanced technology.
Assalamualaikum and greetings to my respected lecturer, Dr. Azimah. My name is Ahmad Kasudin Kamal from Group 6, and I will be presenting regarding the benefits of applying EV initiatives specifically in Malaysia. In terms of reducing the environmental pollution, the use of EV can be seen as the future of our mobility. One of the major benefits of using an EV is definitely the contribution it made towards improving the quality of air in major cities and suburban areas. As the car is solely powered by a battery pack, EV does not produce carbon monoxide emission, which considerably helps in reducing the air pollution. Talking about pollution, a conventional internal combustion engine does not pollute only the environment from the exhaust. The process of making fuel, starting from extracting it on the oil rig to refining it and then transporting it to the petrol station, creates a large amount of air pollution. As for cost effectiveness, purchasing an EV is an excellent investment for long-term usage as it is cheaper and efficient. Although the price of an EV is similar to their petrol and diesel powered car counterparts, the running cost of owning one is particularly cheaper in the long run, as things that needed to be inspected and replaced during a scheduled maintenance are limited to wear and tear parts such as tyre, brake pads and suspension. In Malaysia to be exact, charging an EV at the Charge EV station that can be located at the Petronas petrol station is free of charge. However, the vehicle owner are required to register with the Malaysia Green Technology Corporation to obtain a RFID card in order to use the facilities. Other advantage of owning an EV that people don't realize is the tax reduction and tax-free incentive offered by the government, which exempt import and excise duty as well as road tax for EV owners. There is also a 2,500 income tax relief for an individual who purchase a home charger to charge their electric cars. In terms of being less dependent on fossil fuels, we know that sources of fossil fuels are depleting soon at the rate that we are currently consuming. Car makers are also experimenting with other types of energy such as hydrogen to power their cars, but they are still at an early stage of development. Therefore, EV are currently the most sensible choice of alternative energy vehicle due to its large network of infrastructure that is readily available. Bear in mind that EV are not only limited to just cars. In Malaysia, the use of electric buses is still not widely accepted as compared to European countries. Nevertheless, the Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, plan in turning KL into a low-carbon city includes the introduction of an electric bus for their Go KL free city bus fleet as early as 2023. This electric bus will eventually replace the currently existing diesel-powered unit. This will improve the quality of air in Kuala Lumpur, where the level of air pollution is considerably high in this capital of Malaysia. As for trucks, most of them are still powered by a diesel engine as it is more relevant. This is because the current infrastructure for an EV, especially in major highway, is still not available. Hence, the use of electric-powered buses and trucks are only relevant to be used in big city in Malaysia. Finally, the usage of EV in certain way are aligned with the Sustainable Development Goal (SDG) that were created by the United Nations. SDG 7 is regarding affordable and green energy, where it is about ensuring everyone has the access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy. In the transport sector, this goal will help in increasing the adoption of electric vehicles, as their mission is to make use of clean and sustainable energy affordable to everyone. This will lower the reliance toward the usage of fossil fuels to power cars and helps to conserve the nature for our future. For SDG 8 and 9, these two goals are related to increasing the deployment of EV, as from the recent plan by the government to turn Melaka into an EV hub. This will open up new job opportunity for the locals and at the same time allow them to acquire skills in manufacturing and developing EV. This in return will result in the car that is locally assembled CKD, which allow them to lower the price of the car significantly and make it affordable to everyone. This also increases the economic growth for Malaysia in the automotive sector. Nevertheless, the main thing that needed to be addressed with EV are the charging infrastructure. The increase in deployment of EV will eventually boost the number of charging stations that are currently available in Malaysia. This will not only enhance the road connectivity to the rural area, but also the plan to make electric car affordable can be achieved. For SDG 12, the use of recyclable materials in the manufacturing process of EV helps to reduce the waste of material, as most of them are not sustainable or renewable. Unlike fossil fuels, EV batteries are recoverable and recyclable, which helps to conserve nature as they don't emit harmful emission into the atmosphere like an internal combustion engine does. This will not also help to reduce the production of goods made out of non-sustainable materials, but also minimize the disposal of e-waste in the landfill.